What is going on, guys? Dad Dash here, coming to you with another episode of Gig News. So, as I explained in the last episode, this is going to be taking you through a news article about something about the gig economy. And today I've selected, I think, a very interesting article. It's entitled, let's go into it here. Instacart shoppers say they'd rather quit and work for McDonald's or DoorDash after the company slashed their minimum order pay from $7 to $4. So this article came out August 1st, 2023. Now the format is I'm going to read the article to you because I'm anticipating you're going to be hopefully listening to this while you work. If you're at home, I apologize for reading it to you. You can read along. I'm going to put it up on the screen. And we're going to break this thing down. We're going to talk about everything that this article talks about. It comes from Business Insider. Business Insider does a lot of coverage on the gig economy. I recommend if you're looking for news on the gig economy, go over there. They have DoorDash news. They have the latest and greatest on legislation around the nation. We're going to be picking articles, going over it, breaking it down, talking about things within the article, and inviting a discussion. Hopefully that will end up in the comment section, and then I will take any comments that I think are worthy of discussing, maybe do separate videos about those, and just try to create conversation around issues out here that are outside of YouTube world. These are real world issues from real world drivers discussing their experience within the gig economy, and we're going to discuss it. So let's jump into the article here. So it says, Instacart shoppers say they'd rather quit and work for McDonald's or DoorDash after the company slashed their minimum order pay from $7 to $4. There's 3 bullet points. These are the 3 topics covered within the article. Instacart shoppers are considering leaving the platform after it cut base pay for filling orders. Some say that delivering restaurant orders, which doesn't require shopping, makes more sense. And others are considering full-time jobs, citing the pay cut and growing competition for orders. All right, so it starts out saying some Instacart workers are questioning whether shopping in a store, standing in a checkout line, and driving to their customers' houses is worth it after the company cut their pay. According to social media posts, emails, and interviews with 5 workers. So let's look and talk about this, right? There's 3 things they talk about here that they're saying goes into an order for Instacart or the value points that drivers. And do you agree with this? If you're doing a shop and pay, are these the 3 things that you're looking at, the 3 things of compensation that you believe compensation should cover? Are these the things? Do you consider these 3 things? And let's look at them. They are, again, shopping in the store, standing in a checkout line, and driving to the customer's house. So that's what they're saying the base pay should cover. And obviously what they're not talking about here is the tip. I think that's interesting. That's something I've said. The tip is not compensation. The base pay is the compensation. That is what is compensating you for the work. And in a shop and pay order, those are the things that you're being compensated for. And then you're also being tipped on top of it and given a gratuity. So let's continue on with the article here. Last week, Instacart started paying its gig workers as little as $4 in base pay per order. Insider reported on Monday. Previously, the company paid at least $7. Base pay is an amount that Instacart shoppers and drivers are guaranteed to make if they accept an order, though they can earn more from customer tips. So there they deal with the tips. Now, my area has not yet had the $4 base pay come. The lowest I've seen so far on base pay in my area is $5.55. Now, I don't know why that is. I don't know if it's just not being rolled out everywhere, but that is what I've seen in my area. Now, my thought is, and this is how every driver should think of it, is base pay is not relevant because you should be making your determining factor off of what the total payout is, tip and base pay. So for me, if a offer comes in at $4, I'm not doing it, period. $7, I'm not doing it, period. It's not worth going in, standing in line, driving to the customer's house. It's not going to meet my time standard, my value standard for the time, right? So I'm not going to ever be worrying about a base pay only order. I'm going to look and say, what is my bottom line? I want at least, in my opinion, at least $15 to do a shop and pay. That's how I feel. Some people may disagree. I don't have a problem finding that. But if I'm going to be getting out of my car, if I'm going to be driving to the store, although a lot of Instacart drivers sit in the parking lot now, but if I'm going to be driving to the store, going inside, shopping, waiting in line, driving to the customer's house, and unloading, I want at least $15. That's going to cover, if I'm looking for $25 an hour, that's going to give me at least 35 to 40 minutes to do that order. And that's me being guaranteed to get another order. If I need a little drive time back and I think I can get the order done in 25 minutes, that gives me a 10 to 15 minute buffer to find that next order to be able to complete the order out. And it also gives me the guarantee that I know if that order ends up taking me an entire hour, at least I'm making $15. And for me, that's worked well. And of course, I have food delivery apps that I work, which allows me to jump on food delivery apps as soon as I get done and try to make up some of that money as I'm getting back to the store and the locations to find other shop and delivers when I'm out working. Now, many shoppers are coming to a conclusion. Working for Instacart probably isn't worth it. So this article is saying that many shoppers are coming to a conclusion that working for Instacart probably isn't worth it. Well, for $4 an order, if you're not getting tips, yes, I would agree with that. Daniel Danker, Instacart's chief product officer, told Insider that the company pays guaranteed batch earnings that are 2 times higher than other app-based companies. Let's address that. If you're going to tell me that you're competing with DoorDash delivery $2 base pay orders, where all you do is drive to the restaurant, get out of your car, grab a bag that's already been prepackaged for you, get back in your car, and then drop one bag of food off at someone's door, well, I don't think that's really a fair comparison when you're thinking about bagging up. In some cases, you're sitting there bagging up your groceries. You're carrying bags, sometimes heavy water, sometimes multiple things of juice, all the way up to someone's door, multiple trips. I don't think you can compare the two, Mr. Danker. So maybe it is 2 times, 3 times. But if you look at DoorDash's shop and pay, if you look at Spark's shop and pay, at least in my area, they are higher than $4. Okay. I have not yet seen a $4 base pay for shop and pays in my area. So Instacart, if they do drop all the way to $4, $5.55 I saw, and I shook my head and said, what are they thinking? I don't think that's a great argument to be making, sir. But shoppers point out that many Instacart orders aren't just about driving groceries or other retail goods to customers. They also involve navigating grocery stores and communicating with customers about second choices when items are out of stock. That's exactly correct. But we have to remember that's where the tip comes in as well, right? So some of that is covered in the tip, and again, there's a case to be made that Shipt has the absolute best format for shop and pays. I think it does. I don't do a lot of Shipt because my market, it's wonky how they have my market laid out. I have stores as far as 20 or 30 miles away in my market. So the stores that are close by, there's only like one Target that's close by, a Target and a Wise. The rest of the stores are all 20 miles away. So I'll see orders I like, but I'm not driving 20 miles down the road. It doesn't make sense. But Shipt will give you they offer you base pay. That's it. They offer you base payment to compensate you for your time. You will get your tip, even if it's pre-put in, although most of the time it's after the fact. You get that after the fact. you get that a day after when you get to see the tips. And, to me, that's the way it should be, in a sense, I think, because part of that interaction, that customer service, that impacts the tip that the customer will leave, which I do believe should be industry standard for shop and delivery. It should be based on a percentage of the ticket cost. Unlike food delivery, I think you can have great justification. It says if you have a $200 or $300 or $400 grocery order that you're picking, there's a great justification that says you should be receiving 20 or 30% of that, depending on the effort you're putting in, whether there's substitutions, the effort you take to substitute, get the right items, the quality of the items. And I do believe the customer should have the opportunity to assess how things were done. What was the quality of the shop? What were the quality of the items? So I don't have a problem with that. That's why I think shop and deliver, it is the future of gig work. It's something that we have to learn. And it is more skillful than delivery driving, just picking up a bag of food. There's a lot more responsibility on the person that's doing the shopping. And I think, it also warrants greater pay. And if we want to get paid more, these are the things we have to do. Let's get back to the article. Some workers said in the wake of the base pay cut that delivering restaurant orders for a service like DoorDash makes more financial sense. In a TikTok video posted last week, one worker shows an order for 11 items that involved driving 1.6 miles, but had base pay of $6.30 and no tip. So I agree. Listen, this comes right back to the discussion that we just talked about. Okay. It comes right back to the discussion that we just talked about. You shouldn't be on an Instacart app, you shouldn't be basing the payout if they're going to show you an upfront tip. If you're going to get tipped upfront, then you should be basing your decisions on all of the factors. And you should be asking to be paid an appropriate amount, which forces the app to fill the gap. Meaning, if you're not willing to do less than $15, then they're going to either have to come up with $15 base pay, or they're going to have to go get a tip that represents base pay and tip of at least $15. Now, on something like Shipt, you will see $15 base pay. You will see $18 base pay. You will see $26, $30. I've had $30 base pay on it, and then I've gotten a $40 tip on top of it. And I've never really, looked at Shipt, like I said, as one of my heavy hitters because the opportunities in my area aren't as abundant. So it's something I will do when I see a good opportunity come up. But that really creates a lot of opportunity when you're getting a solid base pay, right? And you're getting good base pay. And then the tip that's going to be coming your way could be really, really big. And on Shipt, it tends to be. If you follow Shipt content, you'll see a lot of people talking about how good the tips can be. And then also, sometimes with Shipt, it is a little bit of a gamble. If you don't take care of yourself, if you're not covering your bases with the base pay, and you're depending too much and too heavily on the tips, sometimes you can get left without a tip. But a lot of the shoppers, and this is the thing I don't like about Shipt, is sometimes you've got to wait 2 weeks or a week because the tip or the Shipt customers end up tipping after the order, and they will tip when they do their next order. So the next order that comes in, they're going to add the tip for the previous order, and then they're going to pay for the upcoming order. So it's a little bit different. I'm bringing up Shipt a lot because I do think Shipt has a good format in comparison to Instacart. So if you're an Instacart shopper right now and you're working for Instacart, consider adding Shipt in there, see what you think. And if your market is vibrant and good, or like me, I have to travel to get to the good markets for Shipt. And when I get there, it gets really good. It becomes a big player. Look into doing that. Look into getting signed up. Go on a wait list if you have to. Anyways, on a Reddit page for Instacart. Oh, hold on a second here. Sorry, I jumped the paragraph. I don't complain about this stuff, he says. But $6 to shop for 9 items, and DoorDash pays the same amount for not even that much effort? Come on, man. I hear him. And that's exactly right. That's why you shouldn't be taking $6 orders on Instacart. You should have food delivery. You should have some other form of opportunity for yourself. So there it is. It's your responsibility. You are a business operator. As a business operator, you have to have a business ownership mentality. Well, not necessarily owning a business, but you're operating a business. You have to operate like that. So you have to have the other revenue generation opportunities available to yourself. On a Reddit page for Instacart shoppers, some workers say a traditional job is starting to look more appealing. I was making $30 an hour for 2 years with Instacart, one post reads. Now I'm literally making $17. McDonald's is paying more. Wow. I mean, that's an interesting take. If you want to go back and if you feel like having your pay guaranteed is something that's better suited for you and how you work, then go for it. Let's continue on. Lower base pay is just the latest challenge for Instacart shoppers. Workers have told Insider that they've noticed more people trying to claim orders on the app. Over the last 2 years, Instacart has also told shoppers that they're more likely to get orders if they wait near stores. That's led some to wait in parking lots, sometimes for hours, just to find an order that's worth their time. Alexia Hudson, who shops and delivers orders around Charlotte, North Carolina, told Insider that she started working for Instacart after losing her job early in the pandemic. Initially, the pay was good enough that she made working for Instacart a replacement for her 9-to-5 job. I don't have to call nobody and ask for PTO, she said. It was pretty convenient. So let's break this down, guys. So starting here at the top, lower base pay is just the latest challenge for Instacart shoppers. Workers have told Insider that they've noticed more people trying to claim orders on it. Of course. Listen, this is the key here to understanding things. Yes, more people are going to become shoppers. Yes, there's a low barrier of entry. If you don't understand these things when you're coming into gig work, if you don't understand that these are the challenges, so what you have to do, gig work was never a one app deal. Gig app is designed around one job at a time. One job at a time. They're not guaranteeing you to make anything more than the one job that you've accepted currently. Everything else isn't guaranteed. You have to create that guarantee. You have to go out and create the opportunity. You are responsible for you. And if you don't understand that, well, that's where some friction exists. But this is what happens when we end up with drivers not understanding this. They wait near stores for 2 hours, it says for hours, sometimes for hours at a time. Hours at a time, you're waiting why would you wait, drivers? Why would you wait? Why? This makes no sense to me. Why would you spend hours in a parking lot waiting when orders are not coming in? Why would you not change parking lots? Why are you not spending that time? If you're spending that time, see, what happens is drivers will spend that time getting angry and getting mad when they should be trying to get on other apps. They should be trying to get on the wait list of other apps. I don't understand. I really do not. I mean, it's your livelihood that's on the line. No one else's. Not the apps. No one else's. You're going to sit in a parking lot for hours. And then we have poor Alexia, right, who shops and delivers, says she started working for Instacart and it was good enough to replace her 9-to-5 because she didn't want to have to call anyone for PTO. But here's the problem. You don't get PTO. You don't get vacation time in gig work. So although you don't have to call anyone, you have to understand the reason why you don't have to call anyone is because this isn't a job. You are working for yourself. You are accountable to you. You are accountable to you. And this is the part that drivers don't recognize or understand. And then they want other people to address this for them. And the problem is when you are entering into being accountable to yourself, running a business yourself, your own operated business, there isn't anyone else that's going to be accountable for your earnings, not the apps. The apps are providing you opportunities. It's your job to accept or decline those opportunities, determine if they're going to make you a profit, complete them, collect the money, and be done. Let's proceed on. But after cut the base pay, plus competition to claim the highest earning orders in her area, she decided to start looking for a traditional job again. Other gig options like Walmart Spark or Amazon Flex don't pay enough either, she said. I've tried all of them, and I was like, no, I can't do this. So, well, what do we have here? That's the end of the article, guys. But what we have here is a lady that is claiming, I guess, essentially that Flex alone isn't enough, Spark alone isn't. Here's the problem. She tried to do things alone, right? She wanted to focus on one app and have one app to provide her with her income. The gig economy doesn't work like that. I'm sorry to tell you that a majority of drivers, and I'm talking about a majority. I'm not talking about the isolated few that can do it. There is going to always be a few that can do it, that are willing to put in the gigantic amount of hours and time that you have to do that you have to put in order to be able to make enough to survive. You have to have multiple opportunities available if you want to survive. That is the only way you will survive in the gig economy. And that is the flaw that Miss Alexia here has missed. She doesn't want to have to manage multiple apps. That is the price to pay if you want to play right now in the gig economy. And you're going to have to manage shop and deliver apps. Those are going to be the bread and butter. And you're going to have to learn to build around the shop and delivers because they're going to be the highest paying. You're going to have to learn how to build around those and utilize your food delivery to complement your shop and deliver apps. That's my opinion. And then, of course, you can also utilize things like Amazon Flex to also make money and build your days around a multitude of options that provide you with, big payouts. Like Amazon Flex in my area will pay you $130 for 4 hours. So if you can get $130 for 4 hours, and then you can build around that, get it 70, 80, 90 bucks before you go in a couple hours before, you could have a 6 or 7 hour day and make 200, 250, no problem whatsoever. The only problem with Amazon Flex in my area, from my perspective, is you never know the miles, but you do know the payout ahead of time. And once you get to know Flex and once you get to know how it goes, it can be a pretty easy situation. But guys, give me your reaction. What do you think about this article? What do you think about what was said in this article? What do you think about the driver perspectives in this article? Do you think shop and deliver is the future? Leave some comments. Let me know your thoughts. And guys, I will be back soon with more ride-alongs, more gig news, more tips and tricks and strategies, and more lives. And, of course, also check out the latest here, Dad Dash Streams. It's a daily streaming of content, of gig-related content. If you'd like some content of your own to be up on that stream, let me know. I will arrange for it, and we will promote your channel and get your channel promoted and do a community post for you, and you'll be promoted to the Dad Dash community and beyond. And let me know, and I'll run your content. It can be a playlist. It can be a video. I've got to preview everything. to make sure it meets community guidelines so I don't get in any trouble or issues. And we'll get it up and running for you. So my goal, as always, is to build a vibrant community around a good, positive gig community for us to come and discuss issues, discuss strategies, discuss tips and tricks. Anyways, guys, as always, stay safe, stay profitable. Dad Dash will talk to you soon.